What you are about to see is an episode of Comedy After Dark. This was a TV show that aired in Connecticut 1992 to 1994 and starred high school friends. There was no high definition then. We shot the show on VHS tape. The old tapes broke down over time, leaving some episodes with poor video quality.
In Northford, Connecticut, it's Comedy After Dark starring Mike Burke. Also starring John Landolfi, Carl Peterson, Jason Ansaldo, Nikki Colson, Paul Mealy, and featuring Jason Tucker.
Welcome to Comedy After Dark, show number 45 and number 46. I know what you're thinking. Mike, we've been watching these old shows of yours, and every once in a while, you from the year 2016 comes on and either interrupts the show or introduces the show. But every time you do, you look different, your set looks different. What's going on? I wanted to share a little story with you. I started this project towards the end of winter into spring. I believe it was around beginning of March maybe. And it was going along pretty well. Really well, actually. I was getting a lot of episodes done. And what I'm actually doing is, when I decided to put them on YouTube, I wanted to go back and clean them up and see if there were things I could fix with modern technology. Things that I weren't able to do before. So it's going really well, I'm really excited, and suddenly my computer crashes. Why did it crash? Because I upgraded to Windows 10 thinking it would make it better. It didn't. And my video editing program, Adobe Premiere, kept crashing. So I got angry, and I punched the computer. When I punched the computer, I did something to it. I didn't know what. I did smell something burning, but I couldn't figure out what it was. Now, I won't bore you with the details of what makes up a computer, but when you do the kind of work I do, you can't just go to Best Buy and buy a computer, a PC. You gotta build something. You gotta do something create something that's powerful and strong enough, because video editing takes a lot of power. And so that's what I do, and I've been doing it for a while, building my own computers right from scratch. So since that time, I could never figure out what exactly was wrong with it. So I would buy a new motherboard, it didn't work, it didn't fix it. I'd get new memory, that didn't fix it. I tried the processor, that didn't work. I went through this whole thing until finally what I figured out was it was the power supply. Now, I didn't think to change the power supply because it was somewhat new. I only bought it a few months before I started editing. So I replaced that. Now this is just a couple weeks ago. So all this time, I made it to about 47 episodes. And then I just stopped. And 19 episodes have now aired on YouTube. And I can't put any more because nothing else is ready to go. Because out of those episodes, episode 21, there was a mix-up. And I know this is getting kind of boring, but there was a mix-up with 21. Somehow it became 31. So I want this show to be presented the way it originally was, not the way it ended up by, however why 21 became 31. But I want it to be the way it aired on television. So that means that because 21 wasn't edited, all the episodes leading up to 47, which cannot be put on YouTube, because then they'll be out of order. And I don't want that. I don't want to have an episode air out of order. I want it to air in the order that it actually aired. Alright, I know, again, it's like, who gives a shit? Bottom line is, I get the computer going, now the thing's overheating and crashing. Why is it overheating? Because This summer, it's been about 1,000 degrees every day. It has been so hot, my walls actually melted. That's why I'm in this new place here, this new set. Because my old set melted. It was like just paint dripping off the walls and whatever else, posters just disintegrating and bursting into flames and birds flying behind me and just flapping their wings, and it was so hot they turned into balls of flame. So the computer couldn't handle the heat. So now I had to put in, and this is what's interesting on how computers have progressed. Now I put in which is basically like an AC system in the computer. It's got a radiator. It looks like a miniature radiator that you see in a car. And it's got these hoses and pipes and coolant going in there, and it has antifreeze. But bottom line, it's working. I'm back. I'm editing. Months and months later, here we are. Now let me explain why I just spent all that time talking and telling you that. Because we don't have an episode 45 and 46. They are gone. Completely gone. Missing. Maybe they exist somewhere. I don't know. They're on VHS, so I know that a company just announced that the company who is the only one producing VCRs, that they just put the last ones on the assembly line, so that's over. You won't be able to buy a new VCR. You'd have to go buy a used one. But in either case, these episodes are completely gone. Why? Because of a girl. Hey, I was a teenager. I was 17. The girl was beautiful. She wanted to see the episodes. Why did she want to see it? Because, let's see which one it was. One of these episodes here, I think show 46, I dressed up like Amy Fisher. Why did I dress up like Amy Fisher with makeup and a wig and all that? Because we couldn't get one. We went crazy trying to find an Amy Fisher. None of us on the show really seemed to fit the part, so we wanted to go outside the show, get someone to guest star who could do it. And the reason why is at the time, the Amy Fisher story was pretty big. She was a 16-year-old girl who was having an affair with this 40-year-old creep. I think he was even older than 40. He was like 45, 46. And she shot his wife in the head, almost killed her. And the thought and the rumors were, and what people had thought was that he had her shoot his wife. I don't even know how that case ended up, like if he actually was found guilty of that. I don't think so, but I don't know. But he did have an affair with her, and there was this whole thing. But anyways, it got completely out of control in the media. ABC, NBC, CBS all made their own movie of the week, starring having it all be about Amy Fisher, but each one was a different perspective. And I don't remember which movie was whose perspective, but you had Drew Barrymore, Alyssa Milano, and then this actress Noelle Parker, I believe. I hope I got her name right. She was in Ernest Goes to Jail. If you've seen those movies, she actually looked. I mean, she's beautiful, much more attractive than Amy Fisher, but she still looked the most like Amy Fisher. So we wanted to do our version, because that's what our show was, to parody what was going on in politics and the news. And so we wanted to do something authentic to make fun of all of that. And we couldn't get anybody, and we got so frustrated, and I just said one episode, I'm like, F it, I'm gonna do it. And I put on a wig and we did it. So this actress who joined the show, finally to play Amy Fisher, I told her about this, and she wanted to see the tape. And she wanted to see her debut, which was an episode I didn't edit yet. So I let her borrow those tapes. Like I said, I was a guy, a teenager, 17 years old. She was beautiful. And I thought, maybe I can impress her. I'll let her borrow the tapes. She gets an exclusive. She gets to watch it before anybody else. And she'll see me playing Amy Fisher, and maybe she'll find me funny, and, who knows where that could lead up. So that's why. But she lost the tapes. They're gone. So 45 and 46 don't exist at all. But in the process of editing, I made some discoveries. That we do indeed have bits and pieces of these episodes. Now, the first one was show number 45. It was actually a bloopers special. And it was co-hosted by Ray Charles and John Landolfi. Now, this is probably a good reason why this show doesn't exist. At the time, this was before Ted Danson appeared on stage with Whoopi Goldberg, who is his then girlfriend, with blackface on. And when he did, all this controversy broke out. People were like, what the hell? Even Whoopi Goldberg didn't think it was a big deal. It was because that was the dawn of PC. Before that time, if someone dressed up, a white person dressed up as a black character, it really wasn't that big of a deal. There was a movie I'm thinking of, Soul Man, I think it was called, where C. Thomas Howell wears blackface the whole movie, and he's supposed to be a guy pretending that he's black. So this was before PC, so it was not a big deal. There was never a second thought. I played Jesse Jackson and put on dark makeup. Lawrence did Ray Charles, the same thing. We never thought anything of it. Now it is so PC. You can't even. You just can't do that. If you're a white guy and you're gonna play an African American character or a black character, you pretty much have to do it with just dark hair. And if I was playing Jesse Jackson, it'd be dark hair, dark mustache, no makeup. That's pretty much the only way you can get away with it now. So anyways, I don't remember much about that episode. I don't know if our blooper special was real bloopers. It may have. Or it was made up bloopers. I don't remember. What I can tell you is I know we have some bloopers that are missing. I don't know where they are, and so they were on that episode. Okay, now show number 46. Show 46, we had something called Bosh Hair Dye, and you wouldn't understand it now unless you actually watched the show and you were from the North Branford, Northford area. If you were outside the area, you wouldn't even understand the joke. I don't even know why we did it. I guess we just thought it was funny. But we had a vice principal, Mr. Bosh, who had very distinguished eyebrows. I mean, they came up like that and then came back down. And he would just stare at you. He'd walk through the cafeteria when you're at your lunch and just... He was a really thin guy, very distinguished features. He had kind of hair like mine, except that I don't dye my hair. He was dyeing his hair, but we don't really know that for sure. We just joked that he was dyeing his hair, and we nicknamed him Mr. Hair Dye. And he intimidated people. And I remember sitting in the cafe. I never ate lunch at school because people would see me in the cafeteria and come sit around my table and have me tell jokes and do comedy. So I could never eat lunch there. It was always like a performance. So he would just walk by and just stop and look at me and be like... I think I would kind of go... So anyways, we decided to come up with a bit to make fun of what we thought was him dyeing his hair. But again, don't know. He may not have. And we called it Bosh Hair Dye. And I basically took a bottle of crap. I think it was flour and green dye and water. I had a big bottle of it and just poured it all over myself. We had Weekend News, which would have been hosted by John, with Ross Perot. I also believe that this is the episode where we had Amy Fisher as well. We then did Leprechaun 2, a parody of the Leprechaun movie. This was before there was a Leprechaun 2. And we had Ross Perot playing the Leprechaun. We then did, and unfortunately we have no footage of this, Fatal Attraction 2. I actually really like this skit because we took the camera outside the studio. We filmed it in my house. We did it like a pretty good parody of that movie. And we did blood in the bathtub and things like that. And I don't know if we did boiling something. I don't know. But it was pretty good. And unfortunately, none of that exists. So I actually have some of this footage And that's what I'm going to show you for today's episode, to replace 45 and 46. And then, after you see that footage, when we get back, I'm going to do some impressions. Some new impressions that you haven't heard before. So, stick around. I'll be back. Here's some of the lost footage.
High school. And one of the things I like to do is dye my hair. Yeah. Now, what I must do...
Don't knock that noise off. I'm gonna kick you in your ass. Right in the hole.
Okay. So, Mr. Perot, how have you been doing?
Well, here's the deal. I'm doing nothing. I was in the movie, Leprechaun 2, and that's all I've been working on.
Yeah. Well, I see they did a nice makeup job.
That's true. I just came from the set. These are the makeup I've been using.
I hear also, John.
5 minutes of nothing. That whole time you could have been doing something. Instead, you took off from your desk, you fat loser. All you do is you waste my time. Yes, I got my tarts and grass. Gonna walk around like a damn short midget. Is that
Well,
funny, miss?
midget, that's why you're in Leprechaun, for Christ's sakes. Now, show us the...
Screw you, you tall son of a bitch. Yeah. Throw the leprechaun. Got my gold. You stole my gold.
I don't have your gold.
You got my gold and I want my gold.
I don't have it.
Look at that.
I don't have it.
Look at that. Where's my gold?
That was...
So, what are you doing this afternoon, sweetheart? Sweetheart? What do you call sweetheart? Today's specialty is pork chops and applesauce. Favorite dinner of mine.
I remember in the war, it was Iwo Jima.
What goddamn war?
I don't know. There were so many of them. World War II, I think. Oh my God! She reminded me of the time I was on Bunker Hill.
Welcome back. I don't have footage of the Amy Fisher thing. I did it twice. One time, episode like 42, I think it was. I just put on a wig, no makeup. This time we went all out. I mean, we went all out. And unfortunately, I have no footage of it. I should say, fortunately, because now you don't have to see me dressed up like that. So that's actually a good thing. Something else I'm trying to jog my memory about. We did a parody of Twin Peaks. And if I remember this correctly, we did it as a series. It was supposed to be part of multiple episodes. And eventually what happened is we took it, and it was originally part of our Washington, D.C. show. Now, we didn't know how long our Washington, D.C. shows were going to be. It turned out to be 2 parts. And when it originally aired, we would have this in between, these little bits that were making up this one big story. Somewhere in the 90s, probably 98, I took those out because it didn't really make sense. And I thought that the episode should just be a Washington-themed show and not have those bits in there. And so I pulled those out. I remember we filmed it at the time that we were filming these missing episodes, and it's possible that may have aired during this episode. I don't know. I don't remember. But what we ended up doing is... in 1994, we did a bunch of specials. And the reason why is we were kind of like preparing for the end of the show. And we didn't really want to do a big best of special again. We wanted to do something a lot special, something more special for our 100th show than just having a best of. So what we did was episode 89, we took all of the Twin Peaks skits that we did and we made it into one episode. So I'm not going to put those clips here. Instead, you'll see it during that episode. So that's it. That's all the footage I have. But at least it's something, right? All right, so I thought I'd take a little bit of time here and do a couple of voices for you. Some voices that I've improved. For example, you'll notice throughout the history of the show how my Bill Clinton changed. And that was the thing about the show. I would come up with a voice because it was like, he's the president now, I gotta be able to do that voice. So I would sometimes develop it on the show. And so I had never done Clinton before, and my first time doing his voice on the show was awful. But you can see it progress. And now, I think I've got it down pretty good. I did not have sexual relations with that man, Mike Burke. I didn't. I am telling you the truth. I feel your pain, I do. Okay, then we have Jay Leno. I don't even know if I ever did Jay Leno on the show. I think we tried to do it and it didn't work. I don't even remember. All I know is there's no footage of it. So I somehow remember doing it, but I don't know. But my Jay Leno has improved a lot. See, a lot of impressionists think Jay Leno sounds like this. Hey, I'm Jay Leno. Hey, try to you on. We'll make more. Hey. But that's actually not how he talks. He kind of talks a little bit like this. You know, when he raises his voice, it's not high. All right here, folks. Welcome to the Tonight Show. I am Jay Leno. So did you see this one in the news tonight? Did you hear about this in the news? Anyway, so today we are going to have a special guest here on the Tonight Show. You know, that's kind of the tone of his voice. So there's my Jay Leno. Charlie Sheen. I didn't do Charlie Sheen's voice back then. I don't think... I mean, he had a distinguished voice, but now it is very distinguished. Now, I've nailed it down so much that this is a true story. I got hired by a music video producer who hired Charlie Sheen, the Heart Charlie Sheen, to be in the video. And then he needed Charlie Sheen to come back to finish some voiceover work, and he wasn't available. So I got hired to do it. I'm Charlie Sheen. I've got tiger blood running through my veins. So I don't know if you remember me, but I used to be on a television show called 2.5 Men with that guy there, you know, the one who painted his head so it didn't look like he was bald, and the little dude, you know, and the woman there, you know, Berta. You remember that show? Yeah. But, you know, I screwed it all up because I had this tiger blood running through my veins and I was doing all kinds of drugs. You know, Charlie Sheen. Whenever you say my name, you gotta say it that way. You gotta say it like Charlie Sheen. Alright, so there's Charlie Sheen. Christopher Walken, I think I did him on the show. I have recordings of Christopher Walken from back then, and it was awful. I was terrible at it, but I've improved on it. And for one thing, if I'm going to be an impressionist, which I have been since I was a kid, they all do Christopher Walken. Every impersonator does Christopher Walken. So if I can't do it, that's going to be pretty bad. So here's a little bit of Christopher Walken. So, many years ago, you had an uncle, and your uncle took this and shoved it straight up his ass. That's right. It was imported. There was no way he was going to get it through airport security or the border patrol. So he took it and he jammed it straight up. Wow. Give me some more cowbell. So there's a little bit of Christopher Walken. We had Regis became very popular. Regis Philbin became a popular impression in the last year of the show. And it hasn't changed all that much, but I think I have a little more of Regis in me than I had before. So, anyways, here we are. If you remember me, I used to have a TV show. It was with Kathy Lee, and then Kathy Lee left me, and then left me with Kelly. Where the hell is Kathy Lee? Anyways, now I'm retired, and I'm still yelling! Alright, so you had that. Bernie Sanders, who recently ran for president. Oh, what is with the emails? Nobody cares about the damn emails. I just want to jump on a subway and pretend that I'm like everybody else, and then jump in my private jet. So that's that. I'm sure if I manipulate the voice, I could probably do Larry David. I've never tried, but Larry David! Oh my God, Larry David! I'm Larry David! Alright, so that was the first time I've ever done Larry David. Not bad, I think. I could work on it. I've done Obama. Some people say it's good. One person said, you sound nothing like him. I told that person, I don't give a shit what you think. Your opinion doesn't matter to me. So, yeah, you might like it, you might not. But pretty much all I do when I do Obama is, let me be clear. If I'm to be clear at this moment here, I'm gonna be clear. Let me be clear. Am I clear enough? Good. When I want to be clear, I gotta make sure that I talk in short sentences like this, because I want to be clear. Now I'm clear. So that's a little taste of my Obama. Hillary Clinton. Yes, I do a Hillary Clinton impression. It's so accurate. Very accurate. I think people would have loved this if I did it on the show. Ladies and gentlemen, Hillary Clinton. Is that not accurate? I mean, it is close, isn't it? Hillary Clinton. I'm working on Donald Trump. Don't quite have him down. He's a tough one. His voice. He's got he has an accent, a very thick New York accent, and I think that's important to making sure you sound like him. So, I don't even know if I should try it because I'm just not there yet. I'm not even gonna try it. I'm still working on it. It's probably gonna take some time, but So there's some voices there. I always excuse me. I always try to do some new stuff as they come up, and it just sucks because I don't really have an opportunity to do them because I don't have a TV show anymore. And when I had the show, that was the biggest benefit, and so I do miss doing that. So that's it. Episode 45 and 46. Mostly me talking. Isn't that just wonderful? It's great. It really is. So I don't have anything left here because they're missing. Because of a girl. And, what am I going to do? There's really nothing I can do. So, goodbye for now. We'll see you again next time on Comedy After Dark. Bye-bye. Bye. We'll see you next time. Episode 47, our Washington, D.C. trip. That's coming up next. Yeah, it's a good one. We actually did take the show to Washington. Yeah. I dressed up like Bill Clinton and went to the White House and performed in front of the White House with Bill Clinton. So you'll see that. All right. We'll see you later. Bye. Why aren't they going now? Yeah. Yeah. Don't know why they're not leaving. Why are they sitting there staring at me? Starting to make me feel uncomfortable. It's over. It's over. There's not more coming. It's not like the end credits at a comic book movie, where you have to stay for 2 hours during the end credits to get to the end for that special scene, which most of the time is really nothing. It's just an advertisement for another movie coming up. But that's not going to happen here. There is no other scene. So, shoo. Please, go. Go. The show is over, okay? Do you not understand that? It's over. There is no more show. Get up, get your little fingers on your damn computer mouse or on your little tablet, hit stop, and go do something else with your life. Stop staring at me, all right? It's over! Now here's a little bonus scene.
You must be a little man from another world. Now, little man from another world.
Do you realize that Margaret Ray's been murdered? You had sex with her? How many times a week? 7? Every day? Horny little bastard. Look, she's been killed, murdered, dead. Now, what was the last thing she said to you? Hard and get the f out of here, you loser. Very angry. Oh.
Thank you for watching Comedy After Dark. Stay tuned for next week's episode. Good night.